I love Banjo and Kazooie. Banjo Kazooie come from some of my most favorite 3D platformers of all time. They are my favorite video game characters that have not yet gotten into Smash Bros. So why do I bring this up? Well, Microsoft's characters Banjo and Steve have become a huge talking point of the Smash Ultimate DLC character speculation community. So I wanted to take a look at the evidence for both's inclusion in Smash Ultimate. I am going to do this with the assumption that likely only one will get in, if at all, and we'll talk about which one I think is more likely based off the evidence. So, let's start by talking about Minecraft Steve. Steve is the default character skin for the popular game Minecraft. Steve can be better described as a default skin for the game as opposed to an actual character. However, he does have a name and is from the second highest selling video game of all time. But does that mean that Steve is eligible for Smash? Let's do an analysis of how Steve became a heavily speculated character for Smash Ultimate DLC. So back before the E3 full reveal of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in June, on May 16, 2018, a leaker by the name of Das Verjamin leaked a lot about the upcoming game. If you haven't heard of Verjamin, he is the most credible Smash leaker to date. On Game FAQs, he leaked that Smash Ultimate would be a new game, that all characters would be returning, that Ridley would be revealed at E3, and that Simon Belmont would be playable. Later in the same thread, he leaked that there would be Minecraft content of some sort coming to Smash. He also leaked Ken, Isabelle, and Incineroar before they were all confirmed by Nintendo. So far, he has not missed a single prediction. At one point in Game FAQs, Verjamin was questioned about his leak of the Minecraft content, and he reported that it came from one of his most trusted and proven Smash sources. Before the Nintendo Direct in September, where Isabelle was revealed, he reiterated on Game FAQs all he knew thus far, which still included the information he had already disclosed about Minecraft inclusion of some sort coming to Smash. This brings us to September 10th, where a leaker by the name of Senjio Gahara Hitagi leaked that Steve was going to be a playable character in Smash Ultimate. Someone called out Hitagi as just another leaker copying Verjamin. Hitagi asserted that he and Verjamin had talked and had some of the same sources and some different information, and therefore, both had good information regarding Smash Ultimate. Another user tagged Verjamin asking him to validate the legitimacy of Hitagi's claims. Verjamin affirmed Hitagi's claims and restated that all he knew was that there would be Minecraft content representation and that there was a possibility that Steve was a playable character. However, he was unable to confirm whether Steve was playable. Now, let's shift our gears and take a look at the evidence for Banjo and Kazooie. Banjo Kazooie are the protagonists of the Nintendo 64 3D platformer Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie, as well as everyone's favorite on the Xbox, Nuts and Bolts. Before the developers, Rare, were bought out by Microsoft in 2002, Banjo and Kazooie were Nintendo icons in the Nintendo 64 era, and Sakurai even considered putting Banjo in Smash Bros. Melee, but he ended up being excluded due to Rareware copyright reasons. Banjo has been highly requested amongst fans of the Smash Bros. Series for some time. Evidence for this comes from Smash poll results. Despite all this, is Banjo a more likely Microsoft rep than Steve? Banjo started to become highly speculated at the time of the August Nintendo Direct, when everyone was analyzing the background of the room where Sakurai was announcing the Direct. There appeared to be a couple of books that resembled Banjo's color scheme, and a book cover that seemed to resemble Banjo and Kazooie. Also, some were pointing to an item behind Sakurai that was thought to resemble a Mumbo token from Banjo Kazooie. However, both these images are hard to make out, so we can't say for sure whether either is what people say they are. Another line of evidence is the fact that the CEO of Microsoft, Phil Spencer, has come out as willing to let Nintendo put Banjo in Smash. He was asked on Twitter during the Smash 4 ballot days and responded that he was for Banjo's inclusion. Earlier this year, he was asked again and agreed he would still be willing to let Nintendo put Banjo in Smash. The last piece of evidence is that Nintendo trademarked Banjo in November. Now, this could mean a few different things. The renewal could simply just mean Nintendo wanted to associate itself as a party with it in the past, as it was Banjo-Kazooie's publisher back in 1998, the year of Banjo-Kazooie's release. However, there are two popular theories dominating. Number 1, the Nintendo 64 Classic, and number 2, Banjo is in Smash. The first theory recently fell through when the CEO of Nintendo, Reggie, was asked in an interview about the Nintendo 64 Classic. He was asked, "Would you rule out an N64 Classic coming?" "I would never rule something out," he said, "but what I can tell you is certainly that it's not in our planning horizon." So, Reggie definitely deconfirmed this theory with that quote. As for the second theory, I found an interesting Reddit thread on this very topic in a Banjo Kazooie subreddit. In this subreddit, a thread was started by the user Banjo Kazooie Maniac, who made a post on behalf of this trademark. The thread received some doubts that this had anything to do with Banjo's inclusion because trademarks are a common practice of gaming companies who don't want to lose their IPs, and Banjo did originate on a Nintendo console. Wanting to know more about trademarks, I looked through this thread and found an insightful post made by the user Baron Briegel, who claims to be a trademark paralegal, who is a person trained in subsidiary legal matters, but not fully qualified as a lawyer. He says, quote, "I am a trademark paralegal. The trademark renewal is nothing to get hyped about. You can see the trademark details yourself at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. If a company is still using a mark on the goods/services for which it's registered, it's routine business practice to renew it. It only costs a few $100. It keeps up the value of their IP portfolio, it might help them bring in licensing fees, and there's probably all sorts of tricksy corporate accounting things they do with amortization." The Banjo Kazooie trademark was assigned from Nintendo to Rare, and Rare is now a subsidiary of Microsoft. A huge company like Microsoft is guaranteedly going to renew any trademark they can. The renewal specimen filed by their attorneys shows a screenshot of the game's purchase screen in the Xbox Live Store. The renewal specimen filed by their attorneys shows a screenshot of the game's purchase screen in the Xbox Live Store. Furthermore, you can see that in the goods/services section, the video game cartridges portion is enclosed in square brackets. This means it's been deleted from the registration because they are no longer using it on cartridge games. Even if Banjo and Kazooie did appear in Smash, that wouldn't be enough to count it as use for cartridge games, since the game is called Smash Bros. Not anything Banjo Kazooie related. Edit. Specifically, cartridges were already deleted back in the 2008 renewal with nuts and bolts used as a specimen. So, keeping being as hyped about the leak as you feel like being, but the trademark renewal has zero implications for Banjo's future appearance in any games. So there you go, the trademark seems to mean nothing for Banjo and Smash, and I don't have any reason to believe this user is lying. He appears to be a member of the Banjo Kazooie subreddit, and it wouldn't make sense for him to lie with compelling evidence against the trademark meaning Banjo's inclusion, given that he must be a big fan as part of this community. However, we should still take this user's information with a grain of salt. So all of the audio up until now was recorded over a week ago. Since then, more information has come out relevant to this discussion, so I'm going to go over that information now. First of all, Hitagi has come out and said the hints he has been given about DLC characters were fake, and that it would take a long time for the names to come out. Hitagi had mentioned that Catalina from a game called Grand Blue Fantasy was being considered on a serious level for DLC, but according to Hitagi, that information is no longer credible. However, the one character he is still sure of is Steve. Hitagi has reported that he cannot disclose any other information for legal reasons, but that there is a lot of evidence pointing to Steve's inclusion, so Hitagi is still confident that Steve will be a DLC fighter. On the other hand, Virgiman has come out and said that the Minecraft representation will be a boss. Someone pointed out that all the bosses in the game have been data mined and asked if Virgiman knew whether bosses would be included outside the fighter pass. Virgiman responded and said that he was just as confused and curious as to the information he was given, but that it was from his most trusted source. So now we have Hitagi saying yes, Steve is definitely in the game, and Virgiman saying that the Minecraft representation will be a boss. On a final note, and if you haven't heard, people have already gotten their hands on early copies of Ultimate and datamined the entire game. In the datamined information were 2 games owned by Rare that were cut spirits, meaning they're not fully in the game, but that their data is there. Those games being Blast Corps and Jet Force Gemini. Supposedly, Rare Unlimited is in the copyright information as well. This shows that Nintendo worked with Rare at some point in the development of the game. This does not prove that Banjo is in, but it definitely could be more of a possibility now that we have evidence that Nintendo worked with Rare. So, that wraps up both characters' histories of Smash leaks and rumors for Ultimate. Since everything moves so quickly and more information may come out, I will definitely be sure to cover anything else if it hits in the future. Now let's talk about my thoughts regarding both characters' evidence. I think what Steve has going for him is the backing of Hitagi. Hitagi has been validated by Vergeman as credible, and Hitagi appears to be fully confident that Steve will be a playable fighter. Beyond Hitagi, Steve would be a smart market decision for Nintendo. Minecraft is the second highest selling video game ever, and his inclusion would bring a younger audience to Ultimate, which would mean a lot of cash in Nintendo's pockets. According to Sakurai's latest tweet regarding Smash DLC, Nintendo came up with a list of characters for Sakurai to choose from, and it would make sense for Nintendo to include the second highest selling game of all time from a business standpoint. Further, Sakurai has come out on record saying how big of a fan he is of the game Minecraft, which only helps Steve's chances further, as it looks like Sakurai was still the final say on the characters Nintendo selected. Although Nintendo selected the fighters, Sakurai decides whether a character can be implemented. The most compelling evidence for Banjo is the fact that our most credible leaker, Vergeman, has heard from his most trusted source that the Minecraft representation is a boss, as well as the fact that Ultimate's data mined information contained rare IPs. We haven't had any credible leaker come out and say anything on behalf of Banjo, but if it is not Steve, Banjo is the most likely Microsoft frontrunner for Smash DLC. Up until Vergeman's latest Minecraft boss talk and the data mined information, I would have said that Steve is the more likely character, but now, I'm not so sure. In the end, there's enough evidence to show that at least one of these characters will be joining Smash. But who will that be? Well, we're not going to know for sure until Nintendo confirms it. Who do you guys think has the better chances? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm more than happy to engage with your thoughts. Well guys, that's all for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.